Joining me now from Ukraine, she's in an undisclosed location, is Lesia Vasylenko, a member of the Ukrainian parliament for the Holos Party. Ms. Vasylenko, good to have you on the program. Can you give us all a sense of the current situation on the ground in Ukraine and the state of the Russian assault?
It's the 13th day of war, and Ukraine is still standing, but essentially we are still in an all-in war with the second largest army of the world. So we are being bombarded, we are being shot by missiles, some people are being just shot point blank in the middle of the day, in the middle of the street, in the towns they live in. Whole towns are besieged, something you would imagine possible only in the Middle Ages and the brutalist and most barbarous times. And all of this is 21st century Ukraine in the middle of Europe.
As that horrific situation is going on and the fight continues, you saw Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was in Latvia today alongside the leader of Spain and NATO. Meantime, the United States, the UK, and others are banning all imports of oil from Russia. Again, no-fly zone. What do you make of the measures against Russia in terms of their energy?
Look, the measures against Russia will work eventually. All the economic measures, all this oil and gas embargo, and actually any kind of embargo on all goods and services from Russia is doing the job. And it's actually killing the authoritarian regime of that country from the inside. And it's the very correct way and the correct approach. I think that a lot has been done on the economic front. There's still a bit more to do, but already it's world leaders are doing a much better job there than on the defense and security front.
You had said that you believe NATO will reconsider its no-fly zone. That's been a no-go zone. Today, we understand that Poland is going to try to deliver its MiG fighting jets to Ukraine via the U.S. Do you know anything about that? How important is that?
That is extremely important. I saw the news as well, got very excited about it. It's as if, Ukraine has been granted a sort of a good news corridor of sorts in the last couple of hours. But on the news on Poland and the fighter jets, I cannot comment any more than I know from the open sources. At this moment, our authorities are working on making this happen. But I cannot disclose any more information regarding that because it's a rather delicate situation and a rather delicate operation that is going through as well.
Do you think NATO will reconsider the no-fly zone?
I very much hope that they will. This is the only way to stop Russia. I think that all the global leaders and the global countries are on a good track at the moment. We are back to dialogue, but now this dialogue is excluding Russia, the biggest aggressor and manipulator on earth. So this dialogue should have been happening at this level, this very intense and very active level 8 years ago, when Russian aggression first started in 2014 with the annexation of Crimea and the occupation of eastern Ukraine. So if this level of dialogue was going on there, then I believe that we wouldn't be dealing with the escalating war that we are witnessing now in the middle of Europe. But it's good that it's happening already, with all the world leaders uniting around Ukraine, with Ukraine, and figuring out ways as to how to disembed and dismember the authoritarian regime that Putin has created in Russia and is trying to spread through to Ukraine and the rest of the world.
Just before I let you go, there's over 2 million Ukrainian refugees, people forced to leave their country because of this war. Humanitarian corridors have been bombed, the ceasefires have not worked. What are the biggest challenges for those trying to get safe passage out?
So this is when I was mentioning that it's as if there is a corridor of good news for Ukraine over the last couple of hours. I'm very happy to say that the first humanitarian corridor in 13 days was actually a success today. That corridor was closed at 7:30 p.m. Ukraine time, but as a result, over 20 buses were able to get out of Sumy. Sumy is a city in northeast Ukraine, a city which was besieged for the last 8 days. Its population without any electricity, heat, or water for that matter, and they were not allowed to leave the city before. But today, finally, the green corridor was agreed, and it was the first green corridor which wasn't being massacred by the Russian army. So over 100 people were able to get out from Sumy to Poltava, another city in Ukraine, to safety. And I'm just so grateful that this was a success.
Lesia Vasylenko, member of the Ukrainian parliament, located now at an undisclosed location. I appreciate you joining us with the update. Thank you.
Thank you.